Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Vic. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to do a picture-in-picture effect using Kdenlive. If you'd like to follow along, there are links in the description below for the files that we're going to be using in today's tutorial. I've got Kdenlive opened up over here. Let's go to the editing workspace so that we're both looking at the same thing, the same user interface. I'm going to load up the two clips that I have. So I've got them over here, and I'm just going to drag and drop them into my timeline. Now it's going to ask me to switch the profile. I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Now we've got two videos here. One is pretty much the city, and another one is pretty much the face of this gentleman. Now just remember that you're going to need two video tracks for this tutorial. So if you only have one video track here, I want you to go ahead and insert track, and you want to create an AV track and insert one. I've already got two tracks here, as you can see, V1 and V2 in my timeline. And if you don't already know, Kdenlive automatically splits the audio tracks, so that's why we've got A1 and A2. First, we're going to bring in our background. So this can be whatever video that you've got. If you notice, there is an empty audio container here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ungroup the clips and delete the audio container so that we're just working with the video here. Next, I'm going to drag in this face of this gentleman. So if you notice, this is actually a shorter video, but that's fine. And what I want to do is I want to shrink down this face so that it shows up on the lower right hand corner of the screen. And it's very simple to do that. We'll click on Effects, and we'll search for an effect called Transform. So let's drag and drop this Transform tool to the video that we have on top. Something that I want you to take note of is that your timeline is like layers. So whatever is at the bottom gets covered by the video that is placed on top. And notice that as soon as we dragged in our transform effect, you'll see that it opens up our tab here, which says Effects and Compositions. Now these are the different properties for effects, and we can control and fine-tune many different things here. Now I'll show you how to use this here in a second, but you'll also notice that we've got this red box with some handles over here. You can actually just shrink and resize using one of the handles here. And if you notice that we've shrunk him down, this video, and we've got our picture-in-picture effect. You can also drag on the X over here, and you can move this window to pretty much wherever that you want. So let's just say I want to move him over here. Let's play around with some of these things. So X is just referring to our X-axis, so we can move this either left to right, if you can see there. The Y over here is just a Y-axis, and I'm just doing the arrow up and arrow down to increase or decrease the numbers, so you can just see that image moving. The width and the height over here is pretty much the size of your object, and you can choose to lock the aspect ratio. So for example, if you don't lock the aspect ratio, now I actually don't want to distort any images, so it's probably a good idea to keep the aspect ratio locked over here. Another area that you can choose to control the size of your image is obviously over here, and this is expressed as %. If we increase the percentage here, it makes the object larger. If we decrease the percentage, it makes it smaller. We've also got opacity, which pretty much controls the transparency. So let's try to turn this opacity down. As you can see, we can start to see through the image. So we'll bring this back up to 100. And of course, lastly, we've got the rotation here, which allows us to control in degrees the rotation of that image. We've also got some controls for our keyframing over here, but I'm not going to talk about keyframing in this video. We'll keep it really simple. And one more thing before we end this tutorial, if you don't want to see these red lines over here, you can just click out into another clip of your video or into another part of your timeline, and it should allow you to see what that effect looks like. And if you want to bring out that transform dialog again so that you can make more adjustments, you simply just click back to the clip that you had applied your effects to, and now you have these handles and you can go ahead and move this around again. And this is the end of our very simple but very useful tutorial, and now you know how to do picture-in-picture effect in Kdenlive. I hope you learned something today. Give the video a like, and if you want, you can find more tutorials on my channel. I'll see you later. Goodbye.